Just over a week left in Major League Baseball's regular season. There's a lot left to unpack. I'm Dugan Lloyd alongside AJ Sisson here to break down the league's leading storylines here on Penn State Sports Night. AJ, let's get it started. In the Big Apple, a lot of people wrote off New York after this past month's tough stretch of baseball. They're looking like a new team of recent, winning 11 of 13 games. I'll go to you here. What has been the difference in the switch that has turned around this team?
Well, I got to start off by saying after a historic 50-17 start in their first 67 games and battling adversity with all the injuries to Matt the Carp, the man, the myth, the legend, WB Mason man, Matt Carpenter, Anthony Rizzo, Giancarlo Stanton, they're finally beating up on the bad teams. Recently beating up on the Red Sox and the Pirates, sweeping both of those series and winning a couple of games against the Twins and the Rays, they look like they're solidifying themselves back as a postseason team, especially with young talent and that young spark in Oswaldo Cabrera. Batting .231 since he's coming up to the league and has 6 defensive runs saved since he's been in right field. In his first couple of games, too, he's providing the spark for that team to really start doing well. And may I say something about Gleyber Torres, too? In his last 14 games, he's batting .400 with a 1.3 above OPS. He's hitting balls in the right places and getting runs in. And I got to talk about my man, the MVP. Sorry, Angels fans. Sorry, Shohei Ohtani. Crying my DMs. Aaron Judge is the MVP this year. In the second half, he's batting .363, above a 1.2 OPS, and in September alone, above a 1.5. He's the MVP this year. He's carrying this team on their back. But I want to say one more thing.
Do it.
The real question is, are the Yankees back? My answer is no. I think with their pitching, especially their starting rotation and how Garrett Cole's been lacking, and there's not really a solidified 3 in there, and the bullpen hasn't been doing too well this past couple of games either. I don't think they're back until this series against Toronto is over, which they start tonight, and if they take 2 or 3, I think I can comfortably say they're back.
You're right. It's a prove-it series. They're going to have 3 against the Blue Jays starting on Monday. One thing you bring up in that point is that they've been beating up on a lot of bad teams. Unfortunately for the Yankees, the playoffs and the postseason are right around the corner. There's not many bad teams there. And what it looks like right now is that they're going to either see the Guardians or the Mariners. When you're looking at just the AL race and the AL, just how it stacks up in that AL wild card, who are you looking to make a splash?
Well, I want to start off, I love this point. The Orioles are out. For those who are Baltimore and O's fans, I'm sorry. They don't have a chance. They're 4 games behind the Mariners. And the Mariners themselves, I don't even think they're ready for the playoffs themselves either. They've got Julio Rodriguez, who's a really good young talent. They have one of the best starting rotations in the league. Their bullpen is good, but their offense is just so inconsistent and too many power hitters. I think the Guardians are going to have a field day with them, especially Shane Bieber going up against them in Game 1. And then you have Steven Kwan and Jose Ramirez, who have been unbelievable recently. But I want to move into the next matchup. And if the wild card stays how it is today, this is how I'm going to predict it. Rays, Blue Jays are taking it. Rays are a good team, but their starting pitching has been lacking this season, and the fact that Tyler Glasnow has been out all season and he's coming back Wednesday, there's a bit of a question whether or not he can actually come back and perform in the playoffs. So I want to say this about the Blue Jays. They have a better rotation than them. They have a better offense, and when Vladimir Guerrero is playing like an MVP, he's batting .281, any team would be lucky to have him. But Vladimir Guerrero, he needs to step it up this offseason, and the end of the regular season into the postseason, if there's going to be a chance for the Blue Jays to make a run. And if he does, that's the team that's going to make the splash in the postseason this year from the American League wild card.
Well, yeah, they'll definitely have a chance right now. 3 AL East teams looking to be in the playoffs when you factor in that wild card. On the other side of things, the NL East, another big player. We're watching that race to see who's going to win, either the Braves or the Mets, who do hold it right now. And then you also have that Phillies-Brewers. Phillies have the 1.5 lead at the moment. Where do you see this shaking out? Because it seems like if you look at the 2 leagues, this is the league that really could see the most change happen in these next couple days.
Exactly, and when I've been watching the NL all season, it's been fluid. I haven't seen a team besides the Dodgers, which we'll get to later, who has absolutely dominated all season long. Now, when it comes to the NL East race, I gotta start by saying that the Mets are going to take that division. The Braves lost Spencer Strider recently. He has been unbelievable, eclipsing the 200 strikeout mark this year. He has below a 2.5 ERA. He has been absolutely unstoppable on the mound. But losing him is a huge detriment to that really potent Braves offense that can put up runs, but against a good pitching matchup like the Mets, they're going to take these last couple of games, and the Mets have a much easier schedule going towards down the stretch. But I want to start talking about the rest of the wild card, and I want to talk about the Padres specifically. The Padres have a really tough schedule coming up. 3 against the Dodgers. They have 3 against the Giants. Those 6 games are going to prove crucial when it comes to the end of the season and when it comes down to the wild card race. So going now to the Phillies and the Brewers, which is the last kind of wild card spot we're trying to figure out here. They both have semi-easy schedules, except the Phillies are going to be having a 3 against the Astros, and the Brewers have 3 against the Diamondbacks, a hot Diamondbacks team. So when it comes down to it, I think at the end of the NL wild card race, the Padres are going to end up missing it, and it's going to go Braves, Phillies, Brewers.
And one of those unlucky teams is going to have to take on one of the NL's finest, probably the NL's finest, that being the Los Angeles Dodgers. You previewed them earlier. Right now, some question marks regarding the health of that starting pitching staff, but when you have an offense that can hit like they can, it doesn't seem like it really matters. Right now, leading the league in runs, if you're coming in and basically taking on that underdog David versus Goliath role, how do you stop them?
Simple answer, Dugan. Luck. Just luck. It's a simple answer. They have a team that has 6 people who could be a face of a franchise in a different city. Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Tony Gonsolin, Clayton Kershaw, just to name 4 of them. This team is absolutely incredible, and it's something like 5.3 runs per game from that offense. They are unstoppable when it comes down to the stretch. And coming into the playoffs, I think they're going to dominate with that rotation if Tony Gonsolin can come back and perform like he did throughout the regular season. Adding on to that 1.7 ERA that he has, or somewhere around there, he is going to be a main piece in that rotation if he comes back healthy and starts. But there's only 4 teams in this playoff that I think can actually take down the Dodgers. The Mets, the Braves, the Yankees, and the Astros. And when it comes down to it, I have the Dodgers winning the World Series in 7 in LA against the Houston Astros, unless there's a lot of luck that happens in this postseason.
I got to be honest, I would not be surprised if you are right, especially on this prediction, a team that has really just taken the last couple of years by storm. And if anyone is going to go after them, they will definitely need a good amount of luck. Unfortunately for us, that is all the time that we have on tonight's Sports Night edition. For Dugan Lloyd and Adrian Sisson, thank you for joining us.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning into this edition of Penn State Sports Night. We hope you liked that segment.
And we're sure there's other Penn State Sports Night segments that you are going to love as well. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content.
And check us out on social media for updates and behind-the-scenes clips and pics. Follow us on Twitter at PSSN TV and on Instagram at PSU Sports Night to keep up with all the action.
For all of us here at the Belisari Media Center, we are
Penn State Sports Night.